Welcome to the channel, everybody. Today we producing another video. This will be the video that follows the video 2 weekends ago where my wife actually had a nasty fall trying to retrieve our GoPro where she fractured a rib. So we will be taking an easy route, basically 85 to 90 kilometers to Mossel Bay, and the next day back 90. It will be all on tar. It will be just a relaxing, scenic drive, romantic weekend getaway. Our destination in Mossel Bay, it's between Hartenbos and Mossel Bay. It's basically halfway mark at the Oceans Hotel, and you can see with some of the nice photos that I put in how nice the place looked. The time's around about 12 o'clock that we're on the road, and it's a Saturday morning going to afternoon. We're talking around about the 15th of September or so. So we're already halfway through the first month of spring, and I want you guys to actually observe how beautiful the sky is looking. There's not a wind in sight. There's all the bugs on the windscreen is all a good sign that summer's here. It's time to ride, and we're all very excited. Our excitement for spring and so on has actually taken a bit of a damper. So then I know most of us in South Africa are seeing it. I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but apparently we've had something called a blue moon, actually a super blue moon, which occurred here at the end of August, which is an extremely rare thing to happen. And I mean, I don't really know much about blue moons, but I have left a bit of something of a description on the description of the video, right? But it is the super blue moon that we've been having is extremely rare. It comes once in a decade. And I don't know why they call it a super blue moon, because apparently it's actually that dark orange moon that I'm sure a lot of people have seen before. And this has happened suddenly in this past month, and it seems to be causing havoc with our weather. I will leave a little bit of like I said, a bit of a description in the description of the video about blue moon for those that are interested. But I'm sure one can just Google it and just see how it really works. But we just passed that one signboard, which I don't know if you guys saw. That's the Robertson's Pass. I think it's 860 meters in altitude, so it's quite a high pass, but a beautiful scenic drive. One can also take note here, although we're at such a high elevation, how sudden the weather has actually changed on us. It's just like a question of, in a kilometer or two, it's become like this. And obviously, it's most probably the hot air from the Karoo meeting up with the cold air from the ocean. But that's how drastic the weather changing and the weather pattern has been in South Africa at the moment. And I'm sure, as you guys all know us by now, we're around about 30-40 kilometers from our destination. We'd like to take a stop, so we're having a water break. We've made sandwiches for the road, and normally at this resting spot, it's so beautiful. You can actually, on a clear day, look right into the ocean and see the whole of the coastline towards that side of Mossel Bay. It's really beautiful on a very beautiful day. But still, we're not going to skip out on this break and just take a quick stop, just to do like I said. Most of you guys know us by now. We stop, we do a bit of business while we stopped. We do a bit of Googling, a bit of catching up, and plan our last bit of the route. In the same breath, we also, as motorbikers, always tend to forget this, but we always remember this on our last stop, me and my wife. As you saw how our screens looked on the motorbikes, it was full of bugs, and the same with our visors. So, yeah, we take a chance. We've always got a cleaner with us, and we clean out the helmets and so on. Makes just the visibility a bit better in this foggy weather. I thought while we stopped here, I'd actually show you what actually happened on the following weekend with this weather patterns that I was describing to you. And this place is actually a place that we've actually got an old video which I'll put in the link of Harold's Bay. And this is how it looked a week later. It's got to do again with the high tides, gale force winds suddenly coming up, weather changes that just happen so quickly. And yeah, I don't know what's happening actually, if it's global warming or the blue moon, but something's really not right with this weather. Yes, it's most of the southern coastline, right up towards the eastern side of South Africa, and towards the western side of South Africa. Nearly all the sea areas looked exactly like this. It was flippin' ridiculous, unbelievable, and I mean. Some people are classifying it as a mini tsunami or tsunami or whatever, but it's not really any tsunami. It's just unusual tides that one I would say would link with the blue moon and the hurricane winds that we're having and stuff. Something that's not that one would expect it for this part of the world. I mean, we're not used to weather like this. We're not used to we used to sing rough seas, but not like this. I mean, this is like ridiculous what's happening, to be honest with you. Now at this point is where I actually get to this point where I didn't really know what to name this video. If I was going to name it the Blue Moon, which is very relevant to what I've been saying over the past few minutes. But the next spot that we're going to be passing would be actually the spot that we'd actually come the next day for breakfast here. And that is Ruitersbos. It's a new place you'll see the sign coming now on the right hand side. There's another place on the left hand side called Eight Bells, but when I'm talking about the name, that becomes confusing for the video. I actually wanted to name it Gerrie Coetzee and Mike Schutte, which is old South African boxers of the past. I think they're both dead by now, or both died recently actually, or a while back. But for those that are unfamiliar, I would actually Google those two boxes, because what I'll be showing you towards the end of the video are two massive dogs. One's a Great Dane, which I'm not going to name who he is, and one is a big Bull Mastiff. One is like 77 kilos, the Bull Mastiff, and the Great Dane's only 8 months old, and it's 55 kilos, and these dogs are super big, but such friendly dogs. And like I said, one is called Mike Schutte and one's called Gerrie Coetzee. I actually want you guys to guess which one is who here. Gerrie Coetzee being the more famous of the two, but they were equally famous heavyweight champions of South Africa. But Gerrie Coetzee actually went on to become the world heavyweight champion. And for those lovers of the boxing, which I do like watching, will always remember him fondly. And Mike Schutte was a great character. There's still South African jokes with Mike Schutte in it, and he was actually a legend in his own right. But never ever became the world champion, but a legend in his own right. but you guys will see what I mean when we see them later on in the video in a few minutes time. Then you can decide who's who here. At the moment we just seeing Hartenbos in the horizon, and we're about most probably 5 to 10 minutes away from our destination. And this road is always light on traffic here towards Hartenbos. It's always a nice route that we took through the pass and stuff. It's a nice road, nice bends, nice. It's just nice to drive, and scenery is just wonderful. But when you get to this Hartenbos spot, it's like unbelievable traffic for a small town like this. Yes, at this stage the traffic wasn't bad, but because it was more towards late afternoon, but it was bad enough as we got along. And my wife seemed to time this robot just ahead of me. Somehow she just timed it right that she crossed on the orange light. And you will see as I rode further, I think in less than 5 kilometers, there must be about 7 sets of robots, and every single one of them I got stopped at. So she arrived at our destination most probably 5 minutes before I did, or maybe even 10. I was actually quite worried because we actually lost each other in the traffic. I didn't see her for that whole 5 kilometers from here on in. I didn't see her once. As you can see, a lot of construction's taking place on this specific stretch of road here. And hopefully they're making the lanes wider, but I don't know if that's even going to help, because in December you must see this road. It's like chock-a-block. I mean, it normally to do this like 5 to 10 kilometers between Hartenbos and Mossel Bay is going to take you an average of 30-40 minutes, even maybe an hour in some cases when it's like really, really busy in the peak season. You just don't want to be there. I can't actually see any joy in coming to here for a December holiday. If you just want to go anywhere, you're going to be sitting in that traffic. It's really bad, but it looks like they're doing something on the roads, and hopefully it's going to make a difference. But I do think what does make a big difference in a lot of the places I've ridden is replacing the robots with circles here and there. I mean, like, I'm not saying every single one, but maybe every second one on this road could make a major difference. All this noise of the roads and the cars and the traffics, I guess for some people will be annoying, but me coming from Oudtshoorn, where I live, I rarely hear cars driving by. I really hear the sound. So whenever we're on the motorbikes on the weekend, this is almost like music to my ears. And I do know that that's also one of the reasons I really drive a car. I'll either drive a truck or something like that, but no, really a car, because like I tend to actually fall asleep behind the steering wheel. It becomes almost like music to my ears. And as you guys can see, this road, it seems to take forever and ever and ever. It's basically, like I'd say, I wouldn't say more than 5-6 kilometers, and you've seen how much robots I've had to stop at and how long it's taken. And I've actually edited a lot of it out of the video, but it really takes long on this road with the traffic and the robots and most probably the construction adding to the problem. But sure, it's really some spot here that they have to make a plan with the road here. The sound of those road bikes just so flippin' cool, really nice. Yeah, I'll do that.
I've got my keys. Ek weet dat hy net nie so ver nie, dis daarso.
Waar is die kroeg en die restaurant? Is dit daai kant?
Ja, sy is net aan die agterkant.
Op hierdie kant. So ons moet weer uitkom en daar deur gaan.
Maar loop ons hier so om, nee.
Ja.
Wat is jou naam?
Justin.
Justin.
Justin Gagey.
Justin van Millay.
Yeah, no, but you're going to have to keep that door open. I'm going to have to go and walk, get one, and then walk back.
Where did he go?
I don't know, it looks interesting. Okay. Nou, daar is ons dubbelbed daar, hè? Ons het 'n dubbelbed. That's all right. This is fine, yeah. Okay, let me just check. Daar's ook 'n groot kluis vir al my. O my fok, ek my wallet en my bike gelos. Ja. I don't want to put the recording somewhere where it's got.
Oh, she said we want more than the crystal and the photography.
Yeah, I think we're going to need another one at least. It depends. Maybe not. We just Brian.
I think so.
Yeah, we just Brian Whittle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, keep it open for the fresh air. Let's go get that bike. So I've got wallets inside, chargers, everything. Okay, I'm just gonna. Morning after. We were at the Oceans Hotel in Mossel Bay. Price wise, 1,100 Rand a night, not too bad. You get a lot with it, but you also get a lot missing with it. And cleanliness, I'd give it maybe just about a 7 out of 10, because I mean, if I feel this basin, it's actually, you know, I don't know if you people know, when you clean something with a dry rag, still like an oily stain on the residue on the side of the thing. That's how this place feels. The bed pretty low, but fine. They're comfortable. They're not tall. I think if you higher than 7.8 meters, you'll sleep with your feet hanging off them. Now I call these, like, I don't know, these are very short beds.
I'm 1.7 and my feet are.
Yeah, my wife says she's 1.7. She was hanging down, so she didn't have the best of sleep. So the one thing that really sucked about the place, we did a self-catering, right? A self-catering, and yes, it had a fireplace. The lady was very friendly. She organized us wood and everything, which was fine, but there was no braai, rake, tongs, anything to move the wood. So it was really difficult getting the fireplace ready. And another typical example of cleanliness, you can see, I always look when we got here, there's no one actually here at this very moment, but if you look at the drum, it hasn't been emptied out in quite a while, so that just adds to my speculations that this place is not well maintained. Another problem that we did have with the place, right, was they advertised that it's got a restaurant and a bar, Wi-Fi, everything. Wi-Fi was fine, but the restaurant and bar, we were 2 times there. When after arriving, we had about 3 o'clock, right? We thought let's just go grab a drink and a bar snack and so on, and watch maybe the World Cup rugby there, because there's no TV reception in the room of any significant channels, and there was no one there. There was no barman. There was no one knew what was going on there. It was open, but no service. We rang the bell a few times. Said ring the bell. The bell doesn't really even ring, and then someone came to the front and said they don't really understand how the bar works. The people aren't here. They don't know where the people are. The manager, the manager, the guy manager at the desk, the lady manager that welcomed us in, she was fine. She was very helpful, took us over and explained everything. But the guy manager there didn't even really know how Mossel Bay looks. We asked him what's happening there with the restaurant. He said, oh, they outsourced it, so they've got nothing to do with it. He can't help us. He just sat on his seat. Didn't try and phone, I mean, one would expect him to at least have the phone number of the manager. They will phone him, her or him, and ask them what's happening and when are they going to open. No, he did absolutely nothing. He told us, no, if we want to go to a restaurant or a bar, we must go to the Deerstrand, which is like more than 5 kilometers away, and according to him it's 500 meters, but everyone that knows Mossel Bay's traffic on this road from Oceans will know it is a nightmare to drive. It's worse than walking on a highway, and he recommended us to take a stroll there, and if we were tourists, we would be in a lot of trouble. What we did do is we walked across the road, across a busy road, and across this Oceans Hotel we could see there's another sign of a hotel on the far end side, which is about 2 kilometers away. And that we did, which there we found their restaurant, their pub, everything. We had a nice plate of, a nice starter, and it was really pleasant. And so I mean, but the help from the front desk here was pathetic. I mean, they should get someone that at least knows the town or has got a bit of pride in his work. And I think that also explains why the place, a beautiful place like this, right, is not being well maintained. Is because the guys that are in charge don't do the checkups when the people have cleaned up and stuff like that. A proper checkup, which you expect. Further, I would recommend the place, but management has to get their act together.
The rest of the evening was quite festive, and it went off actually quite well, irrespective of the stuff all missing and a few odds and ends. And I ended up doing my dance that I always practice for my grandchild, Marcella Jr., which he absolutely loves. So I always do a move or two when I've had a drink.
Morning.
Hello there.
Hi.
I said hello.
Hello. Hi.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
Thank you.
Wow. I'm a bug freak. I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's yeah. Well,
So cool.
it's me and my wife. We drive together every weekend.
That is so nice. The wind is going to pump today.
Is it?
I checked now. It's like there's hectic gusts. Where you guys also?
No, in fact,
Oh, okay.
so it's not too far.
Maybe it's better on that side of the mountain. I don't know.
We know what it's like. It's really terrible.
It is. No, I saw now because we also have a bike. And I said, I don't know.
What do you guys got?
And the 1200R BMW.
Oh.
Not as cool as this.
No, all bikes are cool as
Hello.
long as you're riding good.
No, I agree with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. But have a good drive and be safe. Enjoy it. Nice meeting you. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
And before we could rub up our eyes, the evening had gone by, and we were on the doorstep of Ruitersbos to pull in there for the breakfast where we were going to meet Gary and Mike, like I told you guys earlier. And irrespective of the service we got, which was actually mostly had to do with the restaurant outside, the restaurant and the bath, and the guy that just, I mean, could have just picked up a phone and asked someone there to what's happening. Yeah, the evening was very pleasant, and me and my wife, we always enjoy our stays. It doesn't matter where we stay because we make it nice for each other.
Dat jou helmet af moet This is a beautiful place we discovered recently, and we just stopped here now on our way home.
This place actually has such a nice farm feel to it. You know, you hear the chickens in the background, the birds, the tranquility. Yeah, unfortunately there's a car too that always passes and makes a sound, but it's just a fantastic, beautiful, in South African terms we'd say rustig. It's just peaceful.
Remember the last time we were here, he was bitten by a monkey. It is,
No, he's got a baby apparently.
yeah, he, of course, look at his size.
No, he's only 8 months old
Yeah.
or something.
And the one dog here is 77 kilos, the Bull Mastiff. And the Great Dane still a puppy. Yeah, no, it's a Bull Mastiff. I think in English you call it Bull Mastiff. And but they both. Look at this small little poodle here. Foei tog. Tussen hierdie groot bulle. Ja. Ons was al voorheen hier, so dis hoekom ons ken die honde se name en alles.
What was it?
Ja. Maar ons, ek dink die laaste keer toe ons hierso was, kon ons nie breakfast kry nie. En vir een of ander rede, ek weet nie of dit load shedding was, toe ons nou op pad huis toe uit, so toe dink ons, moet ons hierso stop, moet ons nie hierso stop, hulle het nie breakfast. Laaste minuut toe draai ons in.
Ai, en ek is bly
So ons gelukkig is nie geval nie. Ja, maar is 'n einde koffie, ek gaan nog 'n moet van jou nou.
Scarbo, do you want the Ruiterbos breakfast or the mini breakfast?
What's a Ruiterbos breakfast? What's a Ruiterbos breakfast? Huh?
It's bacon, boerewors, eggs, onions,
I thought
tomato.
this is sweeter, but it's sugar.
No, it's sweet.
No, it's sugar. Sugar.
Oh, really?
Kom maar net die bread.
Ja, nee, dis nie sweet, dis is suiker, dis regtig suiker daar binne.
No, man, I'm thinking
It's sweet now.
No, it is sweet.
Then why is it so hard, Coral?
No, you get it like that. It's probably like
Yeah, well, that look like sugar. Is it cow milk, nee?
Camel.
Okay.
the Ruiterbos breakfast.
Hallo. Ek sien jy en jou vrou is uitgeket vir die bokke vanaand. Ja, sy het al klaar 3 gaan teken hier binne, dink ek.
Geen maak van die Ruiterbos breakfast. Ek wil nou nie my antwoord.
What is it?
It's bacon, boerewors, eggs, onions.
Yeah, that's right. Two eggs sunny side up.
Yeah.
Sunny side up toast.
Yeah. Nou wat
Betul
ek
brown or white toast.
As you can see, these people have really kitted out for the kids and stuff are really nice things to do. Only thing I'd say you must be wary of in places like this is actually the dogs, because they can be very intimidating for people that are scared of dogs, not used to being around such big dogs. And I've actually been at places before, which I won't mention, where we arrive at the place and the dogs come running out and they get very excited and they jump on you and then you land. It actually happened to me. My bike landed up falling over as the dogs jumped over onto me. So when I got here, I quickly helped the wife to get off the bike in case these dogs did. But no, they seem to be quite, they tend to be quite happy to stick to themselves. But I think if it's kids that aren't used to the dogs, I'd say the owners would have to maybe take special care, because this is not a pet-friendly place. So it doesn't, you're not allowed to take your animals and stuff there, because obviously these dogs rule the roost here, and you don't want other dogs to come here. Another thing that they had at this place is the lady had done, she'd actually changed the wedding chapel because of the rugby being such a big thing in the next month or two in South Africa, and South Africa was going to play Scotland this evening. She'd actually created what they call like a bog plaza. It's actually a place where people can go and have drinks and watch the rugby, and she'd made it so nice. And I'll just show you how it looks and how it sounds inside here. It's really awesome what she'd done. Wow. Guys, thanks for spending the time with us watching this video. And please keep an eye on the blue moon. And I hope to see you guys with our next video. And there will be a link in the video of how Harold's Bay looks on a nice day, which we done a few years ago with our Sims right in the beginning. It's maybe worthwhile looking at it. And on the other video, I'll also link the previous video where my wife had that horrible fall. But thanks for being with us. Till next time.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.